All right, so let's continue building up order management for sellers. Last time we created like this, user can view their order, but here we need couple more fields. Like we have added status by using this subquery, by using this map, and item counts by using subquery. And we also need grand total, and in future we might need other fields. So by going this way, by generating dynamic column, by doing this kind of mapping and adding other items, so it seems quite a lot of work, or it seems dirty. So if you are if you have some kind of doubt that you are doing overdoing something, there must be some better way, right? So let's do this on better way, using better way, because later on we might need to generate sales report, we have to give commission to seller, so this is very hard to track. So what we'll do, and what best practice is, to create another table. So currently if I show you schema, let me zoom in a bit. So currently we have orders table and order items. So these two tables will remain as it is. We'll add one new table called suborders. So suborders will contains the order for sellers. So once the main order is generated, we'll generate the suborders for each sellers. All right. So each sellers and then suborder items, same thing, like order and order items, suborder and suborder items. So suborder items will contain seller ID and order ID. So everything, and status field. Also we can add the grand total or total amount. All right, so let's generate these tables. And after completing this, we'll create this transaction table, and which will handle all the commissions and payout to sellers. And we'll keep our commission as a admin, or you can call admin as a owner of whole this multi-seller website. And sellers are all sellers that owner has hired or created. Okay, so let's go and generate these table. Jump into code, open up terminal, artisan make model, let's call it suborder, and generate migration as well. So at the same time, let's create a suborder items table. Suborder items item. Yeah, so we might not need this model, but let's create, it won't hurt. In future, if we have to run some kind of query, this will be useful. All right, so our both tables are created. Let's go to first create suborder table. Create suborders table. Let me zoom in a bit. So in this table, we'll have ID, orders ID, and here let's create a foreign key called order ID, which will link to orders table. So previously we used to do like this. We create order ID, and then we constraint using foreign key constraint using this syntax. In Laravel 7, it is just boiled down to one liner. Quite cool. Let's use that. So our foreign ID will be order ID. and constraint will do all constraint. And similarly, let's create another foreign key called seller ID. So it is constraint, and in this case we need to provide users, because this, if we have sellers table, then we wouldn't have to do like this, because Laravel will see this foreign key and then decide. All right, what else we need to add? Let's see. Status and then total. So that we copy from orders table. So this is status field, and I think, yeah, item count. All other field will be inherited from this main order. Yeah, so these field, let's copy that, grand total and item count. And put these into here. Okay, so now let's move on to order items table. Let's go to order items table. So order items table, yeah, everything will be same. Let's copy everything from here into sub order items. There we go. Let's put in here order ID. Yeah, we don't need this foreign key, we'll use same syntax. Foreign ID. Constraint. And let's do on delete cascade. So if you want to do on delete cascade, just add like this, constraint on delete cascade. There we go. Same thing, let's add for both. All right, so we have suborder items with order ID, products ID. Let's do suborder ID, because it will be linked with suborder, and then products ID. Price and quantity same. Let's not add timestamps there. Suborder table will have this thing, which is cool. Yeah, everything looks fine. So let's go ahead and migrate it. So PHP artisan migrate. Yeah, everything migrated without any error, which is really cool. So after that is created, next step is to generate or put data there whenever order is created. So our order is creating, sorry, let's go to order controller. Control P, order controller. Here we go. So here we are generating order, and we are saving order. So all step we won't touch anything there. We are saving items. Cool. Doing PayPal, clearing cart item, everything fine. So what I will do here is I will call one method order and then generate suborders, just like this. Alright, so whenever we do generate suborders, we will generate all the suborders. So let's create this method on order.php, and here generate suborders. And here we have access to this order by doing this, and then we can call suborders relationship, which we haven't defined yet, and then we can do create like this. But before doing create, first we need to define the suborders. So this has many relationship, this order has many suborders. Has many suborder. That's it. Okay, relationship defined. And first thing we have to get order items by doing like this items. So what we will do is we'll loop through these items and decide how many suborder to create. So the number of suborders will be the number of products belonging to different shops. So suppose I have two products and then these two products are from different shops, then we'll create two suborders, each suborder for one shop. Okay. The way we get shop is, so I've generated one test route just to test it out. So here is a test route. We are finding the order number 7. This order number 7 contains two order items, these two, and these two belongs to separate shop. So whenever we do order items and then group them by shop ID, then we'll get something like, let me show you output of this route. Webmall test, then we'll get like this. So this will be the shop ID and these are the products in that shop. So in this way we can create two shops or two suborders. Let's do that. Order items, let's let's put them like this. So for each order items and then order by, sorry, group by. So group by is the collection method, group by the shop ID, because this order item will give us access to products and inside product there is shop ID. Then like this we can access shop. Okay, so group them by as, what is this, as shop ID and then products in that shop. Okay, so this way we have sub id and products id, and then we can create, let's find out sub id, because we'll need seller's id, right? That's why. All right, so now let's generate suborders. So order, so we have access to orders like this. We have already created that. Let's cut it out and put it here inside loop. Okay, so suborder and then create new order. So the way we do it, the necessary field on suborders are, let's see migration suborder table. So necessary fields are order id, seller id, and all these. So this we don't need to provide because we have this default value, and we need grand total, item count. Let's open this side by side so it will be easy for us. Okay, so create first thing first, order id. Order id will be this id. Similarly, seller id will be shop user id. So in shop we have user id, which will correspond to owner of the shop, and then next we need to provide grand total, which will be, so this grand total will be the sum of the items. So sum of the item price, that we'll calculate in a moment. And similarly item counts. For now let's put in some value, item count. So item count will be products count. Yeah, that's it. Let's close that up. So these products, count of those products. Let's go to the browser. Yeah, so this is collection, and we can call count on collection. So this will correspond to amount of item in that particular suborder. Perfect. And similarly our item count you get like this. So here we have the products, and we can just get grand total by summing of this pivot quantity or price. So just sum of this price, and then we can show grand total like this. So we cannot use this product's price because this product's price can change, may change on future, but while creating order this was the price, that's why it won't change, and we can use that price. Okay, this price. Okay, so the way we can do it is like this. I think we can use sum. Let's see if we can do sum using pivot dot price. Yeah. Okay, so this will create suborders, suborder, and then we can create suborder items like this for each products as product. So we can use like this, like we have created items here using attach method. Instead of order, suborder items, and then attach product id, product id, and then price will be product pivot price, and quantity will be the pivot quantity. So that is how we create suborders, and we need to define this relationship inside suborder items. So this relationship will be same as this items belongs to many. Let's go to suborder. Suborder items. Suborder ID. Let's verify these. Yeah, suborder ID, product ID, everything go. Quantity and price. Perfect. And inside suborder, we also need to make everything fillable. I'll just disable the fillables for now, make everything fillable. Okay, so I'm confused about this. We have to sum up all the price, but I'm not sure if this pivot dot price will work. Otherwise, we have to loop through these products and then sum the price manually. Yeah, so first let's see if it works. So I'll test this on this sub route. We'll go through whole flow in a moment. Generate sub orders. It should create two sub orders, and we'll see what error it will throw. So we are calling this method and everything will be executed. Okay, so let's hit that route. Yeah, looks like everything worked perfect. Let's go to sub orders. Yeah, we created two orders and sub order items also there. Perfect. Yeah, it is the first time it occurred without any error, which is cool thing. So now we are saving these things on their separate table. Now we don't have to do all these things in order controller of sellers, controller sellers. So we have done all the stuff which doesn't really require. So now here we will only fetch the order of. I will just comment this out and write the alternative code for it, which will be quite short. Orders. And how do we get the order of particular seller? We can do suborder where seller ID equals to auth ID, just to get, instead of writing all this code, just one line. Suborder where seller ID is this, then get us that. So now we don't have to do all these steps because everything will be inside suborder table. That's why we have to write efficient code and design database accordingly. See how many line of code we skipped. This is also not required. So everything will be with this line of code, and we are passing order. Similarly, for showing, we can just do items like this. Order items like this. Now we'll not accept order but suborder. Suborder items. So now to make delivered, order delivered, we just need to change the status of suborder, which is quite simple. Order status equals to completed, and then save the order. So don't get confused, this is suborder, I'm just naming it order. Alright, so this is supposed to work. Let's go and visit our dashboard, this dashboard. So this should work as before. Let's refresh. Okay, so we forgot to import that, which is the error that I always get. I love that error. Yeah, so see here, this behaves funny. So it didn't throw any error, but it is not showing these order number and all stuff. So we have to change a bit on our index, this file, because now everything is changed, so we have to change it accordingly. So order, and if we decide to show the order number, then we have to access this suborder. Actually this is suborders. We can rename it quite easily. Let's rename it because it shouldn't be confusing for you. So I'll change it here. So I'll make all this order. Suborder. Alright, so in suborder we access the parent order and display order number. So if we wish to display anything related to parent, we can display that. Status, we don't need to do all these, just do status. Is not complete, then do like this. We don't have to display like this, simply do item count because that column is there. So suborder shipping full address, no need to do that. We need to do order and shipping address, and yeah, everything else is, everything looks cool. So I think we don't have this field on suborder, this relationship. Let's fix that. Go to suborder, and we have to link this up with the parent order. So this suborder belongs to order class. Yeah, let's see. Perfect. Everything is fine. Even we can view order details. Perfect. We can mark this as delivered. Yeah, cool. Everything is fine. We can go to shop. We can manage our products. We can go to order management. We can see our on order orders with very few lines of code. So next thing we have to do is we have to automatically make this parent order complete. So status of that we have to make complete on basis of suborders. So whenever all suborders related to the parent order are completed, we'll automatically make orders completed. So how do we do that? We do that on this order controller. Whenever someone do mark as complete, we are just saving it. And here next step what we'll do is check if all suborders complete. All right, so we'll fetch pending suborders. So this is the suborder. Let's rename it. It is getting confusing. Okay, so suborder order, and then we'll get all suborders. Where status we'll check. So status, so status not equals to completed, we'll get count. So this will give us count of pending suborders. So we have access to this suborder here. We get the parent order and then we get the suborders. We don't have to use like this. So we get suborders and then we query if status is not equals to completed. So if any order has status not complete, then we'll not make this parent order completed. So if pending suborders equals to 0, so there are no pending suborders, then in that case we'll make suborders order and update its status to completed, like so. So now let's see how many suborders. So one is completed, another is not completed. So let's log in as seller 2 and make that complete as well. So let's log in, admin seller 2, go to order management, and this seller also can view his product and mark it as delivered. Oops, order ID doesn't have default value. Looks like we missed something. So here first we'll check if we are getting right suborder or not. Yeah, suborder. Okay, so there is problem because we change it to suborder, and then we have to replace it on route as well, because this route model binding will only work if it matches this thing. All right, so simple error. So whenever you are using route model binding, so this thing should match this variable name. All right, so I made that match both. Let's update everything. Suborder. Okay, so we are making suborder completed, getting suborders, and then updating it. Let's refresh. Yeah, so we made this completed, and now let's go to the parent order, which is the order number 7. Let's go to that order. Yeah, so this status is also completed. So everything is working. So next step is to add transactions. So whenever the order is completed, suborder is completed, we'll make the transaction to sellers. We'll give them transaction, give them their money, and we'll take some percentage commission. All right, so by keeping commission, we'll give them rest of the money and store that on transactions table. So that we'll do next.